Hey guys, Josh's Boost here and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. So today we're going back to some content I did a little while ago as well, which is basically just kind of analyzing DB replays. This is going to be a replay between myself and another player from Belgium. This is for like a win-a-box tournament. Shout out to Yuri Lansman, who is the person who always hosts these on his Facebook page. And then also shout out to the sponsors. I think it's Dario who sponsors this one. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. But yeah, with just like a free dueling book win-a-box tournament for people from the Netherlands or Belgium or Luxembourg. I think they can participate as well. Yeah, it's not relevant, but yeah, one of those. I'm thinking about doing like more content like this because it does fit with the team the channel was originally made for, which is, you know, improving your game. And I think analyzing these replays like this really interesting. So I was also thinking maybe I could like do analysis of just other games except my own. So from like tournaments or just dueling book. I'm not sure yet, but definitely let me know in the description or in the description in the comments if that's something you would be interested in. With that being said, let's just move into the duel. As you'll see, I will be piloting Sky Striker DPE, and my opponent, this was the first one, I think, is on Swordsoul, 40 against 42, so my opponent doesn't really want to see the cards, he needs to win. But yeah, I won the die roll. As you can see, my hand is pretty decent here. It's Droplet, Impermanence, Hornet Jones, S-Blossom, and Pot of Prosperity. So for going second, this hand actually also would have been pretty good. And then my opponent has Blackout, Impermanence, Pot, Ashuna, and Moye. So his hand definitely works as well. He's on the Swordsoul Tenyi deck, which I think is the best version of the Swordsoul deck, but to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Swordsoul in general. A lot of people are really excited about it, but I don't know, I'm not quite convinced yet. Not to be, if I haven't played against it that much yet. I'm gonna Pot of Strategy for 6 here. Honestly, this might seem pretty old going for Pot for 6 in Sky Striker, but honestly, I find myself doing this almost every game I play Pot. You really just gotta be digging for the Destiny, Fusion Destiny, which we do hit here. We hit Multi-Roll, Rota, Celestial, Fusion Destiny, Ray, and Area Zero. You could argue that Ray wouldn't be too bad to get here. Or Multi-Roll, Multi sets up like another Disrupt if you go for Shizuku. Get Widow Anchor, but I mean, we just kind of want DPE, right? And all of our disruptions at the moment, also, they don't conflict with DPE if my opponent has something like Dark Ruler or Forbidden Chalice or Droplets. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, first going to go into Shizuku here. You could argue that you could go for Kagari and into add back Hornet Jones and then go into Shizuku, which would guarantee follow-up. But as you see, I banished Kagari from the pot, opting to keep Access Code and Verte Anaconda in there. So that's why I like you definitely don't want to go for Gary on the Hornet Jones here, because in the grind game the two might or will come up for sure. So I definitely think that's my reasoning anyway. I'm not sure if it is correct, to be honest. Just analyzing this is already like 5 days ago. I did quite some playtesting with the deck since then, so yeah. But yeah, going to make DPE here, sending Plasma and Celestial. I was still on Plasma here just because I'm like frightened by Dragoon. Such a scary card. Opting to keep the drops in the hand here and just banking on Impermanence, Ash, and force you to not lose out to any like blowout cards. And he is going to allow me to resolve Shizuku to get engaged, which is nice. Top deck Failure here, which doesn't do that much for him. He's gonna go Imperm on the DPE, which is fine. I'll just let it resolve. There's like literally, I mean, actually, let's think about it a little bit more. Honestly, it might be okay to just chain DPE here to pop the Impermanence. It does play into Gamma a little, because if I use the graveyard effect, he does Gamma. That's like pretty hurtful, and You know, there are definitely decks like Dragon Link, which might be playing Impermanence and Gamma in the main deck. And then when you get DPE of the... But then again, if you get DPE of the field, it is safe from cards like... what's it called? Vishuda, the bouncing Tenyi, and like other cards that just bounce him to the extra deck. So it's a bit... if you don't know the matchup, I don't know. I think it's alright to keep it on the field. I'm just gonna go for Desires. I'm just gonna opt to Ash this. Because I think against most decks in the form that play Desires, I think it's fair enough to Ash it. Like against Swordsoul, Ash is super lackluster anyway, so definitely paid off. Then here I'm gonna get punished a bit for not selling the droplet because he's going to get access to Vishuda, which means he's going to be able to bounce my back row if he wants to, or alternatively he can just bounce my Enforcer, and actually he's just gonna go get hit by the Impermanence on the Moye. Moye is super strong, right, because if you let the effect resolve, you can also draw a card in the Synchro Summon, so I definitely think it's correct to negate that. And then at this point he's gonna go into another Monk, and then he's gonna use Vishuda to bounce my DPE, which is definitely fair enough. Like, that card's very threatening. Then at this point he can't out my Shizuku because it has too much attack for him to run over, which is kind of funny. And then he's just gonna set one and pass turn. And at this point we're like in a pretty good position, right? He has Vader and Blackout, so you can pop 2 cards, and then you can Vader me. But I will be able to resolve Engage for the +1, which is definitely quite strong. Then let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into Hayate. I want to resolve Hayate here first, so I can't get hit by Blackout since I only have 1 card on the field. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Then I'm gonna go Send to get access to my Ray. Because if I activate Engage and he changes Blackout, I am forced to get Ray. With the Engage, and at that point I will have 2 cards on field, and his Black will actually get rid of my Link, and I don't have a Ray in the graveyard at that moment, so I definitely think I played it out. It was fine. I'm gonna go Engage, and he's like, okay, I get Afterburner, so that's just gonna out his stuff. Draw bonus card, which is Widow Anchor, definitely a good draw. Then I'm gonna Afterburner his Monk. I think I'm Afterburning his Monk because I plan on doing Widow Anchor on his Moye later, but let's see. I'm gonna go into Kagari. Oh no, I remember. I'm going to use the Afterburner on the Monk, since the Monk is still a non-effect monster on the field for the potential Tenyi effects, and then Moye on the field actually does very little. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kagari. Target Engage, he's gonna go Vader, and at this point I have like Ash Forbidden Droplet and Widow Anchor against just his Moye. So yeah, that's basically the game where I'm going to add multi-roll to really have a lot of follow-up. He's gonna top back another Moye, and yep, I think he's probably just gonna... No, he's actually not scooping, he's just going to pass turn. Let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm going to Kagari for Engage, and then he's just gonna scoop it up regardless. So yeah, pretty solid game 1 there. Yeah, I think from both sides it was pretty decent for sure. Like I said, maybe I should have popped the DP, but I'm not sure. Anyway, my opponent is actually going to go first here. Going a bit too fast here. His opening hand is going to be Double Desires, Vishuda, Moye, and Cosmic Cyclone. So this hand definitely works. Even if Desires would get negated, then it's fine because you can just do Moye. And then do the incredibly broken play of make a Synchro, draw a card, and search Icarus attack. And then my hand's actually also really good. It's evenly matched, Impermanence, Ray, Droplet, evenly matched, so Ray and 4 going second cards basically. So definitely can't complain, looking very good here. However, as you will see, Misfortune is going to hit in about 3 seconds because my opponent is going to draw Imperial Order of his Pot of Desires. And Otherwise, which definitely isn't a bad draw either. So yeah, let's see what he's gonna do. He's gonna go into the Moye, review the Vishuda, go for the token, go into, what's it called again? The Grandmaster, and he's probably gonna search a Blackout, I think. So he's gonna draw cards, which is, I keep forgetting the Ashuna, right? Like, I know Vishuda because this was played in the past regularly, but still kind of gonna get used to these cards. And then he's just gonna set a bunch of cards, pass, I draw Widow Anchor, so another going second card, so pretty much against any regular field this would have been very, very strong. But at this point I'm gonna go as evenly, and at this point I basically know my opponent has the order because he took no time to think at all. He just banished like these cards straight away and just kept this. So I'm like, okay, like the set 99% sure order. Like even in the chat I even tell him, but like there's no way I can really play around it. And I didn't want to set the impermanence in the order column because I was kind of afraid of his follow-up. Yeah. In hindsight, maybe I should have just set the impermanence in the order column anyway, and then just hope to get lucky. And I don't know. Then in the end phase, I'm gonna go Ray Effect, going to Shizuku to play around Effect Vader. I'm gonna add Engage, but knowing there is order, like, it doesn't really matter. He's gonna top deck Ash, and now he's just gonna go for some Tenyi plays. Going for Ashina first, going to the Monk. Then he is going to actually just summon Vishuda. Then he's gonna go for Ashina effect, bring out Adara, which he's going to make into a Baxia. At this point I'm like, okay, I have to Widow Anchor. And then, like I said, he's going to change the order. So he's gonna spin my Shizuku, going to go for Ray. Okay, yeah, so I could have tagged out for Kaina here to keep the Sky Striker link on the field. But then he could have done Vishuda anyway to get rid of it, and then Adara to add back the Vishuda, so it didn't really matter. I considered going for evenly matched here, and I probably should have done it, but I was kind of greedy and just didn't really see the rest of his line here. Where he's going to do revive the Moye. Probably, yeah, I feel like I should have done the evenly matched. Because now he gets access to another draw and another Grandmaster Surge. And now he's just gonna end. I draw Droplet, which obviously just doesn't do anything on the order. Just gonna evenly him again, but like I have literally no place. At this point I'm gonna set the impermanence in the order column and just kind of hope that somehow it will get me there, but yeah, it's just really nothing to can do. You can just go Longy one here, and then he's gonna go Adara, add back Ashuna, then go into Baron de Fleur, and Baron de Fleur is just so broken here because it has a pop and the negate as well. I'm gonna burn him for 1200, and he's smart. He figures that it's probably impermanent set in the order column, so he pops it, and then he's just gonna hit with the Baron. And basically that's just game, right? Like top the corner drones. So literally all my cards are unplayable at this moment, and yeah, that's it. So just gonna admit defeat there, and hope to not lose to order in the final game. Going into game 3, my opening hand's gonna be Widow Anchor. There can be only one more Ray, and another Widow Anchor. So definitely pretty good hand. A little bit. Like, you usually just want to see one Ray, and then the other cards should just be non-engine stuff. Or, well, not necessarily non-engine, but just not Ray. But the hand it definitely works, and nothing to complain there. And then my opponent has Adara, Vishuda, Pot of Desires, Impermanence, and the Vessel. So, this definitely works again. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna activate Rhoda. Fetch me Ray. Just kind of see if I can bait Ash with it. Then, once again, going to end phase and just going to tag out into Shizuku to play around Vader, but my opponent actually has Impermanence, so it didn't matter, but still probably correct. He's gonna draw a Lightning Storm for 6 cards, so that's definitely one of the best cards he could have drawn. He's going to go Lightning Storm, hit my There Can Be Only One, and Widow Anchor. Once again, I kept one Widow Anchor in hand just to not lose too hard to There Can Be Only One. He's gonna go Desires. Let's see what he draws. He draws into Cyclone and Ecclesia. So this is definitely pretty solid. However, looking at his banished, obviously at the point in time we were playing the game, I did notice, but he has Desires, Vessel, Lightning Storm, Moye, Taya, Long One, Moye, another Ecclesia, Summit, and another Taya. So I think most lists are playing 2 of this. So he most likely doesn't have any more Taya in the deck, and then double Moye is benched as well. So you can just go for 1 more after this Desires, which would be favorable for me if I live the turn. Yeah, he's gonna special Ecclesia, bring out, bring out the Moye. So yeah, it's just gonna go Moye, go into the Grandmaster, I think. So honestly, it's not looking that bad for us at this moment. He's gonna draw a long one, which is actually one of the better draws he could have gotten. Because it means that he's actually gonna be able to get access to long one, which definitely wasn't guaranteed with the hand he had right now. But now he can get to it. Discarding Adara. Then he's like something on resolution, no, and at this point, let's see, because this adds a banish to the hand. Of course, we're not sure what he decided out, but I'm just figuring out like if he goes into the Baron here. Does he have a game? Because he's gonna burn him for 12, then he can pop the Shizuku, negate the Ray. The only thing is that if I do have Nibiru, then that's pretty rough for him. And that means I'm most likely winning, but I think it was probably game right if he just does that line and 3000. He just has to get another 1000 on the board. Actually. So yeah, maybe actually he can't. He couldn't have done that. Maybe if he sends the Ashuna with this, or if he goes Emergence for... it is pretty rough, because there's probably no Taya left in the deck, or Moye. Because if there was, he could have just activated this and then normal summon, and then with the Fleur play I said, it would have been game. But instead he's going to go for the Rudy Rose Dragon, probably for the reason I just described, which just bench everything from the graveyard and burns for 12. Which is honestly, it's not too bad for me. Like, it gets rid of the Ray, of course, but yeah, it's gonna swing. Nothing I can do about that, then swing with the Rudy Rose Dragon. And here I'm gonna make like, he's just gonna set some blanks. I guess Cosmic Cyclone is not a blank, but yeah. And then at this point I was thinking, okay, the best top deck I can possibly have is Fusion Destiny, which I do draw, so that's very, very nice. Then something weird is gonna happen where I didn't properly read cards, so a fact you might not be aware of with the Rudy Rose Dragon is when your opponent activates a card or effect that will destroy cards, you can trip this card, negate the activation, then you can special summon 1 Black Rose Dragon from your extra deck or graveyard. But I kind of just quickly read it, so I was like, oh, you can only do that if you play Black Rose Dragon in your extra deck. Like, it's mandatory to summon the Black Rose, which it isn't. And I figured he probably wasn't playing it, so that's gonna explain my line of play I'm gonna do next here. I'm gonna go Summon Ray, which is fine, which is nice. Go into Ayate. He does potentially have to negate from the Grandmaster, because you can also banish a worm from your hands, which of course, like, we didn't know he had it, but the odds of him having it were pretty big. But for now, he's just gonna go Let It Resolve. I'm also thinking like if I can beat Order here, but there's just literally no way to beat Order, so just gonna try. Gonna go Kagari, target the Afterburner. Then I'm gonna chain the Widow Anchor to negate the Grandmaster, and this is the misplay, right? I should have just like been like, okay, that's fine, and then I could have outed this with the Fusion Destiny later. But yeah, I'm gonna go Afterburner target Grandmaster. Is actually gonna let that resolve, so that's fine. Like, I don't have enough spells in Grave, sadly, so can't hit one of his back row. I'm just gonna go into Shiz and then activate Fusion Destiny. Go into DPE, and then I'm going to DPE, and I am going to target the Rudy Rose. Oh, actually, the line of play I'm saying isn't that weird at all, because he has to tribute to Rudy Rose, right? Like, it's just not... Okay, never mind, just Still not reading the card correctly, apparently. So yeah, I'm just gonna go Enforcer and then up to not target any of his back rows since they literally didn't do anything the entire turn, and those huge monsters might just kill me next turn. So yeah, going to go Shiz. I'm just gonna add Engage. I considered going for Shark Cannon here to hit the Grandmaster so he can't reborn it, but with the Summit, but you know, like, what are the odds? And he's gonna top like Ashina. Yeah, and I think he's actually just gonna admit defeat here. So yeah, he just admits defeat because, like I said, his entire engine is just gone from his deck. And he probably figures he can't play through the pop, which I'm not sure. I'm obviously not sure like what Tenyi he has left in the deck, which makes it a little bit hard to analyze this. To know if he could have potentially killed me last turn, or if he could have done anything. Like, he definitely has to OTK me this turn, because if not, I can just go like double engaging for +1 the next turn, and then it's just literally over. But yeah, that's the match for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that and me making all my mistakes. If you want to see more of content like this, be sure to let me know, because I'm kind of interested in doing it, and I kind of want to know if the people watching me are also interested in that. Like, if you are, I'll also try to like just get some other replays from other people and other decks, so I can also analyze those, which keeps me on my toes, but hopefully also learns you something. And yep, that's it. As always, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet but do enjoy this kind of type of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!